Hello, I'm Salsa Prani Setiana and I will explain to meaning components. First of all, I want to share about the table of contents. I have four table of contents. One, the structuralist approach. Second, applying the structuralist approach to meaning. Third, semantic feature. Fourth, semantics prime. And first, the structuralist approach. Semantic theories and their approaches to understanding meaning. It emphasizes that theorizing starts with explaining semantic phenomena such as how words like uncle and aunt are related or how verbs impose restrictions on their argument. Semantic theories aim to explain this complexity by decomposing word meanings into basic components and defining relationship between them. The structuralist approach, pioneered by Ferdinand de Saussure, views language as a system of signs where meanings are defined by their relations within the system rather than independently. This relational view contrasts with cognitive approaches that consider meaning as part of broader cognitive system. And second, applying the structuralist approach to meaning. The module explores the structuralist approach to understanding language, focusing on syntagmatic and paradigmatic relations. Syntagmatic relations involve how linguistic units combine into larger units like syllable forming words or words forming phrases, following specific rules of order and structure. Paradigmatic relations, on the other hand, refer to the selection of alternatives for a given position in a syntagm. For instance, the onset of the syllable can be filled by specific consonant, while the nucleus and the coda have their own sets of permissible phonemes. In structuralism, these concepts are fundamental for defining linguistic units and their properties. Syntagmatic properties describe how units combine, while paradigmatic properties define the distinctive feature and contrast among units within a paradigm. This approach allows for the classification of syntactic categories, word classes, and lexemes based on their syntagmatic and paradigmatic characteristics. Furthermore, the application of structuralism to semantics involves identifying semantic units such as morpheme and lexeme, which are defined by their combinatorial and constructive properties. For example, morpheme, like full or ink, attach to word to change their meaning, indicating concepts like having much of or situation where someone does something. This approach also considers syntagmatic meaning relations within phrases or sentences, where words interact to convey specific meanings based on their roles and as agents, them, or modifiers. The third, semantic feature. The discussion revolves around using binary features like male, human, and adult to classify words based on their meanings. This feature represents whether a term denotes a male or female, human or non-human, and adult or non-adult. For instance, terms like girl, woman, and sister would be classified as human, female, and adult, while terms like mare and cow would be classified as human and male. The analogy suggests that binary features can capture certain semantic relationships like incompatibility and hyponymy, where one term is subtype of another. However, the approach has limitations when it comes to capturing more complex semantic relations or meanings that cannot be easily decomposed into binary feature alone. Overall, while binary features are useful for categorizing basic semantic distinctions, they are limited in their ability to fully explain the complexity of meanings in natural language, especially in areas like verb semantics or complex lexical fields. And fourth, semantic prime. We speak a natural semantic meta-language, NSA approach proposes a system for describing the meaning of words across all language using a small set of semantic primes, or primitives. That these primes are basic concepts that are both undefinable and universal, such as I, you, think, good, bad, and many others. NSM aim to capture the essence of meanings by combining these primes in simple sentences that reflect the structure of thought common to all humans. The NSM method emphasizes the universality of these primes, suggesting that every language must have equivalents for them, though they may be expressed differently. For instance, for the word envy in NSM is defined using primes like person, think, good, not, and want, illustrating how complex concepts can be broken down into fundamental components. Thank you.